Hi, Coach John here, and today I'm going to teach you about the most important power you have that will literally influence and determine your level of success in every single aspect of your life. Now, before you start guessing what I'm talking about, it isn't willpower, it's not motivation, it's not luck, it's nothing like that. This success-producing power, if you can learn how to supercharge it, will take you to the highest levels in your business, the highest levels in your relationships, and the highest levels of everything you can place your hands on. It's that important. So what power am I thinking about? The power of influence, and it's the skill of persuasion. Now, I know the word persuasion carries some negative tones, but in actuality, persuasion is the most positive power that you can harness because it's what gets people to change their beliefs, to take action, and to create change. If you want to get better at influence or sales, you need to learn how to more effectively persuade your prospects as to why and how your products and services, your ideas, will make their lives better. If you need to raise support for a project or a cause, you'll need to persuade a lot of people to join your mission. If you want to no longer be single, you have to persuade the person you like that you're worth being in a relationship with. And it doesn't stop there. If you want to get your boyfriend or your girlfriend to marry you, it's going to take some serious persuasion skills to get them to say yes. Now, just a few months ago, the power of persuasion was on display at the highest levels as politicians did and said everything they could to get your vote. Now, from a political standpoint, you might think their efforts were more like manipulation. And truth be told, there's only one difference between motivation and manipulation, and that's intent. Now, some politicians have only the best of intent for you and their constituents. And others, they clearly only have their self-interest in mind. Can you now see why influence and persuasion are considered by many to be the most important categories in determining your level of success? And did you know that your persuasion skills actually began to develop when you were a baby? When an infant wants something, it communicates the only way it knows how, by crying loudly. And whenever that infant wants something, food, a changing, or just to be held, it cries until those needs are met. And as children grow a little older, they begin to learn how to get their way with their parents. In fact, most children have better persuasion skills than adults because they know that if they keep asking for what they want, eventually their parents are going to cave in. If you're a parent, then you know how hard it is to say no to your children. Children, as they grow, will try to about every trick in the book to manipulate their parents. They want what they want. And this is manipulation in its purest form because it's only about what they want. As a parent, your role is to persuade them to make good choices and to take no gracefully because it's in their best interest. They don't know what's in their best interest. One is done out of love and the other out of selfishness. Now, it's interesting to think about the reasons why persuasion skills diminish as we enter our teens and then even more into adulthood. I've got my own theories, and if you have thoughts on this, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. But here's some great news. Persuasion is a learned skill that you can improve upon and even supercharge with the right training. In this video, I'm going to teach you the top 2 ways to improve your persuasion skills. But before I reveal these 2 persuasion superchargers, it's important that you realize the responsibility that comes with the power of persuasion. If you use persuasion for good and for improving the business and lives of others, then things will work out really well for you. But if your sole motivation in getting better at persuasion is for your own benefit, your own selfish benefit, then I can guarantee that whatever you gain in the process will end up being a huge mess. As I said earlier, there's a difference between motivation and manipulation, and it's all about intent. If you're motivating for the benefit of others, then your heart and your intent are in the right place, and rewards will follow. If you're manipulating for your own benefit, short-term results, they're not going to last long. And as others realize your intent, the short-term results, they're going away too. So in other words, make sure that your intentions are set on who you're trying to motivate. And if and when you benefit as well, everybody's happy. And here's something really cool. If you implement just one of these persuasion superchargers today, you'll likely see big results. Now, there are several persuasion superchargers, but these 2 I'm about to share with you are the easiest and most influential, in my opinion. So let's get into them. Persuasion supercharger number 1 is to find common ground. And it's amazing how much more people will be willing to hear you out if they have something in common with you. Imagine the next time you have to make a cold call. You find out something you have in common with the person that you're trying to reach, and you do that first. And before you start your pitch, you make a different kind of connection like this. Hi, Bob. Our mutual friend Bill Johnson and I work together on a special project, and I thought it'd be a good idea to reach out to you because any friend of Bill's is someone I'd like to get to know. Now, this is just an example, but you can probably already feel the difference when there's a common connection. If you try to reach out to someone without establishing common ground, then two things are likely to happen. It'll take several attempts even to reach them. And they'll likely blow you off using the reason that they're too busy. Having common ground establishes connection, and it brings down walls. It's 90% easier to get real face time with someone when there's a connection. Your common connection can be anything, not just a shared friendship. It could be anything. Maybe you attended the same school, or you belong to the same association. You have to do a little research, but when you found that connection, your chances of being able to book that meeting and service a new client will dramatically increase. Now, of course, there will be times when no matter how hard you look, there's no common ground. When this happens, a style solution can be employed. Now, we all have communication preferences. And when you understand the other person's preferences, you can mirror them. You can learn their preferences as you research about them. Today's social media records will clearly help you to understand their communication style. It's in the way they write, and the way they talk, and in the interests they share. This all by itself can establish connection. The other party will appreciate the effort and understand that you get them. There's always a solution for establishing connection. It may not happen on the first try, but if you make it your mission, you'll be able to service far more clients. Persuasion Supercharger number 2 is all about reciprocity. And this is a universal law that when someone does something for us, we want to do something for them as soon as possible to pay it back. We are compelled to even the score. Think Christmas cards. When someone sends you a card, you add them to your list and you send them a card. If you don't, you feel like you haven't reciprocated the goodwill. And you feel bad. It's like a transaction that gets opened and can't be closed until the other party gives back. Reciprocity is perhaps my favorite of all the persuasion superchargers because it not only works incredibly well to open doors, but it feels good to give back when someone else does something for me. And it feels good to do something cool for someone else. In some ways, this is an extension of supercharger strategy number 1. You doing the work to learn about and establish connection is a giving action. You are sharing that you care enough about the other person to invest your time and energy in learning about them. And they respond by wanting to learn a little bit about you. Now, in business, a terrific step to activate reciprocity is to find a customer for the person whose business you're looking to earn. Even if the person you want to connect with doesn't know you, if you call them and say, "Hey, I have a referral for you because I heard you're the best in town," well, how fast do you think they'll want to become friends with you? Do you think they'd be willing to have a meeting with you to further discuss some business opportunities? Reciprocity can also work when you yourself become a customer and a fan of the business or person that you want to connect with. If you offer a service or a product to restaurants, become a customer and ask to speak to the owner and give them a compliment and positive feedback, maybe even give them a great review. Then when you come back, they'll recognize you as a patron. Do you see how this persuasion supercharger works? Business is relationships. You need to acquire and retain customers for your business to thrive. At some point, you'll need to acquire and retain talented team members to effectively scale your business. It's about people. And knowing how to utilize persuasion to motivate and help your future clients improve their businesses and lives makes the process that much more fun and enjoyable. Persuasion is often the key leadership ability for success. Persuading others to follow you to places they've never been is a unique skill. Maybe it's a new customer, or it's an employee or a service provider. Having them willingly and enthusiastically follow your lead is the path to success. And if you're looking to improve your team or motivate your customers and prospects more effectively, reach out and schedule a complimentary call. Discover the possibilities. There's nothing to lose and potentially everything to gain. Becoming excellent at leading and motivating takes your team to greater success than ever before. It's the right move for your business. In chess, when you make the right moves, you win the game. When you make the right moves in business, winning gets a lot easier. Cheers to your success.